guys, we are back with another special episode of For the Republic.
Oh,
I'm your host, Lewis. That's KD. KD,
don't worry,
the
guys.
birthday boy. He's now 37 years old and officially a member of Antifa. How does it feel? How does it feel being 37 years old?
It feels wonderful shitting your own country and be 37 years old with no job.
No job, no future.
Yeah,
You're just angry. You have an affinity to blow things up, but then you run away from the cops when they arrest you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you like to sit in traffic and hold posters
Yeah, that too.
and glue your hands to the asphalt and then cry when you get pulled off.
My favorite sign is definitely Queers for Palestine.
That's your favorite sign, bro. Yeah, because you
Yeah,
need
that is
those.
my
Yeah,
favorite sign.
they're very passionate. Yeah, they're very passionate. Even though they know what would happen, they're like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, like I wonder how do they feel like when those people like they because I saw one, they were like, I know we're not allowed there, but still, I'm like, do they feel like they're doing something like heroic? Like I'm gonna die for them. It's like no, they're the ones who are gonna kill you, not the Israelis.
Yeah, I think at the same time they just need a little bit of attention.
That's true, they do. I mean, the Miss Universe isn't enough for them. They want more.
Yeah. Wait, did you saw the video of like two Miss what was it, two Miss something, one from Netherlands and the other
Yeah,
one's
Miss
from
Portugal. Yeah,
yeah,
I saw a
Portugal.
tweet. I saw a tweet, and it was like, did someone go and check Miss Thailand?
There's a lot of them in Thailand.
Exactly. They were like, did someone go check if Miss Thailand was trans or not? Maybe some one of them got through.
Right.
That was funny.
No, when I saw that video, it's so weird.
It's
Sometimes we
insane.
wonder if it's a woman or not.
Bruh, nah, you can see that sharp ass jawline, bro.
And that
Nah, I
lar- and
mean,
that and that big shoulder white span.
and then you saw the Nepal nominated a fat bitch.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's how you know they're struggling for attention. Like, there gotta be some pretty women in Nepal.
Uh, I I haven't seen one at all.
Oh well,
Never.
I've never,
I've never
bro.
seen one actually.
Bro, I don't know how
No
Miss
offense to you
Nicaragua
guys.
won. Like Miss Colombia, like she's a MILF and she's hotter than Miss Nicaragua.
Well, I can definitely agree with Colombia, but I don't know about Nicaragua.
She won. Miss
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua won.
Oh, she did?
Yeah,
I take it back.
Miss Nicaragua won, and I'm like, bro, I don't think she deserved to win. She looked weird.
You probably said, yo, how the hell did she win? She ugly as hell.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like Miss Columbia's a mom. She's the first mom to be a contestant. So
Oh, really?
yeah, she's like the first married mom I think to be. I think actually yeah, first mom because I don't know if they've ever been married, but I think I
Wait,
remember
in
her
in
like
in Colombia or in general?
no in in the contest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's a weird stat, but like that's interesting.
That is a weird stat.
Yeah, and but it was like she tried to be she wanted to be the nominee for Miss Columbia like I think like in 2019
Hmm.
when I think she wasn't when she didn't have a kid and I think she lost it and now she has a kid and she's the nominee so it's like I think it was like her third
Wow.
time trying to be Miss Columbia and now she did but then she lost because the trans people. I'm gonna blame it on the trans people even though it's not their fault. It's because they just they don't have a place to be there. It's not their competition.
Yes, it is.
It's not. It's Miss Universe,
Equality, man.
but I mean, I get it's Miss Universe, but this isn't really for aliens. Yeah. So, all right. Since I'm a really bad podcast host, I'm gonna be the guy to go to transition to really important news, and this is some important news.
Oh, I heard about it, yeah.
So she just died today. Rosalynn Carter, former First Lady, wife
96?
of Jimmy Carter. She died today, I think, of natural causes because she was in hospice care. So I don't know if you kept up with it, but a couple of days ago, this week, she went into hospice care, which pretty much means like, it's time to like make final arrangements. You know, it's kind of like the end days. It's like, she's gonna be home with her family, near the people she loves, preparing just, to wait on until it's, be over with. And I think at 95, I think in like last year or 2 years ago when she was 95, she was diagnosed with like dementia. So I think she had been going through, or I guess we found out she had dementia. So I don't know what she was like at this point.
Hmm.
But she passed away at 96 in Plains, Georgia, where she and her husband lived for decades. And she was the former first lady. And I don't know. I mean, I wasn't a fan of them two, as like in terms of like the political stuff, obviously. But I would say that she was after the presidency. They are probably the only ones I liked after presidency that that actually did good things for the community. Like I get it. Like Jimmy Carter kind of leaned into his like socialist phase where he liked Bernie Sanders
Yeah.
and he went to North Korea on behalf of the government and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, when the former president isn't giving speeches for $200,000 like Bill Clinton and Hillary, and Barack Obama is buying mansions, and he's building homes for the community, you just have to admire that. Like that's there, that goes no bounds. His kindness shows no bounds, and I think most presidents, I would say like yeah, I like him as a former president more than even Trump because this guy actually does things for the actual community. And Trump is running for president, so it's different. But this is a guy who could have done what most of them do. And Jimmy Carter did try to. So when Jimmy Carter left, he did try to get back into the White House. So there was a possibility that he would have been the nominee in 1984 to run against Reagan again. I think by 91 or 92, when the economy finally left the recession and boomed, I think he dropped out of any. He didn't really officially get in, but I think in terms of rumors, he declined. He just kind of bowed out and let Walter Mondale get in, who
So
was
he didn't give out any reasons of why he left out.
well, I think he just decided to say like, okay, it's time for a new guy, and it was Walter Mondale, who was vice president under Carter
Okay.
at the time. So that
All
was
right.
and Walter Mondale went on to lose badly to Reagan in '84. Like
All right.
I think he only won 2 states. That's how bad it was. Minnesota, of
Mm,
course, and Illinois.
mm.
So that was that. And I think if you go through the articles, you'll find out Rosalind Carter was sort of involved in the day-to-day activities of the White House. Her husband used her as like an ambassador. She was an envoy to Latin America. She was a symbol of women's empowerment in the 70s for the feminists who said, "Yeah, girl, you do you because you work in the White House." And even though people were saying, "Hey, we didn't elect Rosalynn, we elected Jimmy. Why is Rosalynn going to the Latin America to discuss things? We elected him."
Right.
You know, feminines, women are women. That's how they be. Any
They can
thoughts?
do things. Wait, so I'm actually curious because I didn't know she was 96. How old is Jimmy?
98.
That's crazy.
And he's still alive.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, and he by the way entered hospice care I think like a month ago or something, and he got it. He came out of hospice care, so he made it. She unfortunately did not. But I mean, I think the good thing is that outside of the dementia, I think they put she passed of natural causes, and at 96, that's a blessing. So prayers and thoughts, of course, with their family. Political stuff aside, they're just exemplary human beings. I mean, what they did for their communities and just everywhere. Habitat for Humanity. There's a Habitat for Humanity in my town, just down the street from me. There's a big office, and that's his group.
Mm.
That's his group that he did, and they're like a nationwide humanitarian aid care for low income communities. People that need houses. I mean, there's the people that they build houses. They would both go on the site and build houses for people with all the volunteers. It wasn't that he
Wow.
put up the money and he did it. I mean, he didn't have a lot of money. He was a naval officer and they lived on a naval base. And then when his dad died in what 53, that's when he went back to Georgia to take over the family farm. And from there he got into politics and eventually became the governor of Georgia. And from governor of Georgia he became president in 1976.
Mhm.
So he didn't really come from a lot of money. And then after that, most politicians at the time they would do paid speaking engagements, like the Clintons did.
Right. Yeah.
Again, I mentioned the political stuff, and then after that, I mean, he wasn't really a big fan of doing political speeches. He just didn't do it. He wasn't getting paid by banks to do like he and Reagan tried to do that, and I think Reagan before he got the Alzheimer's, Reagan also didn't really do it a lot of it. So like by 90, so by when Reagan left, I think by like 93, Reagan was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and then isolated until he died. No one saw him again. And then Carter,
Hmm.
I think probably by like 90, he didn't do any paid speeches, and then just did humanitarian aid
Okay.
or anything the government says. So exemplary human beings and stuff like that. So
Well, Jimmy Carter is not your typical liberal, like the ones we have today, no?
um,
Is it a bit different?
I so is he for big government programs?
Maybe.
Yes.
Uh, okay.
He was like, of course, he helped start like the Medicare and Medicaid. He was a big part of that. Um, he created the Department of Education, I think, and I think he created the Department of Human Health and Human Services. I
How about
think.
a big pharma?
Well, big pharma wasn't a thing back then, so that was
Ah, okay, okay.
not as big as it is now. So the Department of Education started what year? I'm looking it up right now. In 1980. So yeah, that was done by Jimmy Carter. Oh yeah, so the Department of
Wow.
Health and Human Services also. Yeah, those two were started by Jimmy Carter, I guess,
Hmm.
because at the time the department was called the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. Yeah, they were pretty creative with their names. Yeah, so that was it.
Smart people.
I think people look now to Biden in terms of foreign policy. He had some of the what you would say the weakest foreign policy. Obviously, the Iran stuff is the highlight of the tour, where he kind of let um the Ayatollah Khamenei take over the Iranians and gave no moral support, no political support, or military support to the Shah of Iran, and that's kind of why we have the mess we have now. Um, and there's like a whole backstory into that. Like, did they do that on purpose? Um, I don't. Outside of that, economically wise, we had like the worst stagflation ever.
Yeah, I think
Really
everyone knows
sucked.
that part. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think in terms of like liberal, like of course he's pro-abortion. Um,
yeah. But
of course
he wasn't like your
pro
typical
welfare.
crazy,
No, I don't
crazy.
think he should. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think in terms of that, he wasn't. But then again,
Yeah.
like if he was in power now, would he be Biden or would he be worse? That's kind of the because I don't know. He doesn't seem to. He does seem to have something different. I think what you're pointing at is like he cares about working class people in a way that Democrats of that time said they did, even
Hmm.
though their legislation was kind of different. But
Hmm.
like they said they acted as if they cared about working class people. I think he did. And I think he did. And I think he still does. Like, still does. So I think that's where you're leaning towards. Like they aren't hypocrites in that way. Where like they say they're for the poor, but they're really
Yeah.
just elitists because
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
look at what they do and say.
Right.
Yeah, like I think that's probably what you're leaning. Like I think he's like more of a common person. And I think by the way, and that was probably the biggest struggle. Remember, like that election was so odd because he wasn't your mainstream Democrat. He was like a governor from Georgia out of nowhere, soft spoken, not really a big national name. And then he had a speech, pretty much a what he said kind of a that the reason America was there was a malaise in the country and the culture, and pretty much people took that the wrong way, saying I want my president to inspire us, not say yeah everything sucks. That was the
Hmm.
gist of that speech. Some people like to say that he's like a president ahead of its time. I don't think he was a president ahead of his time. I think he was just the wrong president for the he was the wrong president for the wrong country.
We're wrong. Okay.
So he
Yeah.
was the president for the wrong country. I mean, if he was the prime minister of England, he would have been fine. If he was the
Right.
president of France, he would have been perfect. Anti-war. And that's also another thing. He had no wars, but then he let people like to say, "Oh, there was no wars." It's like, yeah, but look at what happened in Iran. So, you might maybe you kind of needed one. And the Iran kind of helped lead the fall of the Shah of Iran, who was the power center of the Middle East, kind of like countering Saudi Arabia, kind of, and countering all the radicals. countering the communists that had that sort of oddly enough married the radical fundamentalist Islamists, weirdest combination ever, that started taking over the area like in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, some places like that. So yeah, I guess like that's probably the biggest thing about him, like weak foreign policy, terrible economy, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of especially conservatives they like to point out his negative policies, the
Yeah, it was a
high
bad time.
inflation and
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah, it was a bad time. It was a bad time in the country. I mean, they were great people, but it was a bad time. All right, so
Yeah,
we're gonna
and
move
and
on
it's and
to.
it's and it's like a fresh start. Like, well, not a fresh start, but like he's not your typical mainstream kind of liberal like we have right
No,
now.
he's your classic liberal.
He's
He's your classic
yeah, he's
liberal.
yeah, he's
Because
yeah,
what
he's
I
he's
would
he's
say
a classic.
today, I don't really know if these are liberals
Oh,
because I don't think the people we got today are liberals. I don't think they are. I think
oh,
they're
I mean, yeah, today
yeah. I
definitely.
think they're like they're hitting socialists, extreme progressives, postmodernists. They're not liberals. I mean, a liberal would be okay with would a liberal wouldn't tear down the posters of Israeli hostages on street corners. They wouldn't. They wouldn't do that. But they've been convinced of this. They're now socialists and yeah. But let's move
Nor
on
nor
to
nor did we even try to arrest a politician either.
exactly. And speaking of socialists and the defeat of socialists, we have a great news next because Javier Milei is the next president of Argentina, bro.
Ooh,
He's the one. He won. He won. He won
emo
today.
boy.
Close election, but he came out and he won. And I was watching before we started this episode, here recording Sunday the 19th when Argentinians went to vote. Um, Sergio Massa, who was the other candidate, conceded the election, spoke first and conceded. So I guess we're gonna retweet the his I guess Milei's acceptance speech later on Twitter so everybody can see it, everybody following us. And I'm gonna thank the new followers we have. We have a lot of new followers on Twitter. Hope you guys are watching. Hope you guys listen in. We love you guys. Awesome.
I hate you guys.
He does, but it's also with love.
Yeah, yeah.
So Javier Milei is the next president of Argentina. This is his acceptance speech. Everybody was like, "This right-wing dude." It's like, no, he is even though he's in Argentina, he is a massive defender of Western civilization. Just look at his hand gestures, the Roman arc right there. And this is him with his wife.
Ooh, pretty.
I brought this to you because I knew you'd like this. You'd like this.
Yeah, I do actually.
That's his wife right there. Good. Yeah, the conservatives, I mean, people are saying that he's the next liberal. He's a liberal. He's the first libertarian president. I'm like, I don't know if he would call himself a libertarian in the sense that we call that American libertarians are insane. They're
What
insane.
what would you
Like
what would you place him though?
he's a classic libertarian with classical liberal views. You know, when I mean classical liberal is he believes libertarian in the sense that he is defending the natural liberties and freedoms of people, not the human rights granted to you by a government. He is defending the natural liberties granted to you by a higher power God, and that is the classical liberal termed libertarian view. This is him on his way to vote today. Okay, he didn't have to do that hand gesture, but okay.
Javi, Javi.
energetic.
I know,
Hi.
bruh. Yeah,
Wow. Congrats.
yeah. I mean, we've been hoping for this. We've been talking about this for a while now. We've been talking
Yeah,
about this
that's
for a while now, and he finally did it. He finally did it. He pulled it off. People thought he was, no. I was worried too that maybe they'll steal the election, they'll rig it somehow.
I was
And
thinking the same thing.
then no, he pulled it off. He pulled it off. He was like, nope. And he had a debate. And in those countries they care about their debates. People watch their debates. It's not like here where young people don't watch the debates.
Have you watched this? Have you watched the debate?
I didn't watch the debate, but
No.
I watched the enough other videos. Um, you know what? Yeah, it's a really good moment because we saw the protests in Spain. Tucker was there. Tucker interviewed the leader of the
Yeah.
Vox Party, which, by the way, I mean, I get it. They're protesting, and I'll talk about that another time. But they protest today, and they complain about the socialism. They had an election like 2 months ago, and they lost. So I want to know, where was the energy? Like the day's energy should have been then, not now.
Oh, so yeah, it wasn't there, but
Which I
now
don't
all
like.
of a sudden, this brought in that
It's
energy.
like you just had an election like a month ago. You
Uh-huh.
guys didn't do well in that election. What is up with this protest today? Like, why is everyone out protesting in Spain today? You had this election. Like, make the math. It's not mathing right now. It's
No,
definitely not mathing.
2 + 2 = racism.
Exactly. Inshallah. So, yeah. So, no, really good news. We're gonna start off with some. These are like the quick news bits of the day. What did we start off? Oh, with Miss Universe. R.I.P. Mrs. Carter.
Mrs. Carter, yeah.
And a right wing. He's really right wing. I don't. I think he's kind of said he's right wing. I don't think he's like libertarian because libertarians wouldn't play favorites like he is, where he doesn't want to do trade with China. Libertarians would be insane. And when he interviewed with Tucker, he and Tucker agreed on the distinction. So Tucker talked about how he's not a typical American libertarian that goes insane and says, "Why do we have to have fish and licensees?" It's like, all right, relax, buddy. This isn't like 1509. He's not, and he's also not he's not your American libertarian like in the Cato Institute, who I like and I get mail from, but the Cato Institute that complains about Trump because he does tariffs. It's like, okay, get over it, buddy. This isn't also 1735.
Hmm.
He's also, against China, against communism, says he's not going to do trade with China. So I guess the Chinese are going to come to his doorstep very soon and be like, hey, and he's going to have something to say about it. I'm very excited. I
Maybe they
want to see what he
might.
does.
Yeah.
I'm very excited because he's the only person who, before I've been watching him before he even had political ambitions, and he was the only person addressing the massive inflation and the massive historical economic collapse Argentina has had in the last 100 years. And he's the only one who's actually proposed anything to fix it
Hmm.
because
Uh,
politicians of the day act as if that doesn't exist and treated him like he was crazy when he said it existed. So,
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
when you mentioned the part where you said that he's not, in favor of like China, communism, and all of that, I think a lot of people are opening their eyes with that stuff. With the elites, the billionaires, the communism, China. So yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to that more than anything else, in my opinion.
yeah, and I think people are recognizing that, like they see pretty much that the political elite in that country, which are socialists and
Yeah,
leftists, have
exactly.
been
Sellouts.
parading
Yeah.
around the world, acting as if everything they do is good and everything they do works. And while they enrich themselves, and and remember, it's this classic line that I always hear from Victor Davis Hanson says it's that these people implement policies or implement all these policies when they'll never be responsible or face the consequences of their own ideology. These people do things and never face the consequences of their own ideology. So that I think is the what people in Argentina probably felt for a long time. These
Yeah.
people are doing all these things. We're still poor. All things are expensive. There aren't enough jobs here, and these people they're still in power,
And they don't
and
care.
we're fine and they're good. They live in gated communities. They seem to be doing well. They are fine. They act as if everything's good, but things aren't good. and like there is a time, there is a limit. There is a limit, not just in terms of like what the people can withstand, but also in terms of the situation can't can continue being that until it gets way worse.
I like how most of the articles I'm looking at, they just simply call him a far right.
Exactly. Yeah, because he says that he wants to defend the virtues of the Western civilization that created all the countries and freedoms that we have to allow people like these dumbasses to write those articles. Like that's literally what he's talking about. He's defending the he wants to reestablish the foundational values or traditions of Western civilization that let dumbasses today, like that guy in that article or bitch in that article, to write shit like that.
Yeah, including New York Times and Washington
Yeah,
Post.
they're all
Radical
against him.
libertarian,
Exactly.
far right libertarian, right wing presidential frontrunner.
Yeah, and they're gonna mention the abortion, and they're gonna mention the yeah. It's completely insane,
The
completely asinine.
LGBTQ community.
Yeah, let's hope that this is the beginning. I want to see Trump and Milei having a press conference in the White House. That's what I want to see in 2025.
Just hope nothing happens to him.
I hope so too. That's a good point. Yeah, I hope so too. Because
Because you,
South
you
America is
already,
a different game.
yeah, with him, with Trump, you just hope that nothing happens to him.
Yeah, because you saw what happened in Ecuador with that journalist who had all the tea.
Oh
Even
yeah,
yeah, and
right.
I get it. The moderate right wing candidate won, but we would have wanted this guy, that the journalist who passed away, unfortunately, because he had all the tea and all the dirty stuff. Because what I've been telling you, this is a worldwide leftist cabal. This isn't like a one by one. They're all together, all connected. And he had the tea. He had the tea on all of that. And what happened to him? See? So he mysteriously died. No, he was assassinated, of course, in public daylight.
Well, he killed himself or what?
No, they killed him.
No, I mean like what would like the articles were saying? Like
Oh
did
no,
he
no,
kill
the
himself
articles were
or
just saying that this was like this was about crime. Oh, this was just a crime spree. It's like, no, this isn't a crime spree. He was assassinated.
yeah,
So then they put assassination, but they don't want to talk about why. It's like, oh, he was randomly assassinated. It's like, all right, nobody's randomly assassinated. That's like the weirdest thing ever.
yeah. How does that work?
It's like, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't work. Also, what doesn't work is you get videos of people walking around a building, and all of a sudden they're called, insurrectionists and stuff. It's like they were just walking around the building.
Yeah, being jailed for like 20 years.
Exactly, and being jailed for 20 years because the speaker, Mike Johnson of Louisiana, who endorsed Trump, by the way, publicly released 19 hours of new footage of the riots on Friday, the January 6th riots, if you were wondering, making good on a promise he made during his campaign for speaker, as Trump allies in Congress have been repeatedly calling for all the tapes to be made public, claiming they will prove rioters were wrongly convicted. Now, I thought that all the hours were released to. Oh, I see now, because I kind of got confused before. So the previous speaker, what's his name? Uh,
Um,
McCarthy,
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney, Mitt McCartney. Mitt
Mitt
McCartney
McCartney.
released all the hours to Tucker, I think, but I think he released them to
Yeah.
Fox. So Tucker doesn't have them. I think that.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think
I
now,
he
yeah.
already released.
So I think now he released them publicly. So everybody got them. Everybody and their grandmama got them, claiming that they will prove rioters were wrongly convicted. Right wing. So I got this from the Independent, by the way, a left wing British outlet, and so they're not just saying the right wing social media users are amplifying questionable interpretations of some of the clips, claiming that they show law. I mean, I don't understand how you can have a questionable interpretation. They're just walking in a building. How is that questionable? And how is that an interpretation? They're walking, claiming they will show law enforcement officials helping the rioters storm the Capitol. I mean, there was no storming, with some FBI officials acting as insurrectionists, coining the term "Fedsurrection." Da 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 da.
What? Oh, Fedsurrection. Yeah,
Fedsurrection. I had not heard that one, but that's a clever one. I'll take it.
that is a clever one.
That's a clever one.
Fedsurrection.
So I got videos here, pretty much showing you the Fedsurrection, and then also the Palestinians protests in New York City. So you guys tell me which one looks more like an insurrection. You tell me. We'll play it, and you tell me, Deep, which one looks like the insurrection, and which one looks like a mostly peaceful protest.
All right, got you.
Get back! guys. Oh shit! Someone just got thrown. People getting thrown down the stairs. People getting thrown down the stairs. Yo.
Yeah. By the way, what they're blocking there is Grand Central Station.
Oh my god.
And remember,
It's
this isn't the first
dangerous.
one. What did remember what they did last time in the outside the White House?
What taking the barricades off and all that?
They took barricades down and they even hopped the fence. That's what
Yeah.
they did at the White House. Remember, they did the same. Remember, Antifa did the same thing in 2020, and Trump had to go to the bunker. And what did the media say? Oh my God, Trump's such a pussy. He went to the bunker. It's like what? There are people protesting, getting to places they shouldn't be. Which, by the way, no one in this thing ever did any of that. No one barricade took down the barricades to the White House and went in there, forcing the president of the United States into a bunker. Nobody did that. Nobody.
No.
And also in the fashion, because we're now seeing like, I mean, there was an old man walking with a cane.
Was it a cane?
Was it like
Go
you
back.
saw him, right? I wasn't the only one who saw him. Like
I
that.
didn't see any.
We're gonna play the video again. He's right here. You see him, right?
Oh, I didn't see
Oh,
him.
it's like a walking stick. It was the same shit at this point. It's like a
I
walking.
was too busy look. I was too
Oh
busy
yeah,
looking at the sign,
yeah,
and then I was like at the bottom. Yeah.
yeah. I was looking at the yeah. It's like, but then I noticed
Yo.
like, this dude right here, and then they're talk. This cop is talking to one of the insurrectionists calmly. He's not arresting him. He's calmly talking to him. I mean, this old man is following COVID laws. He has his mask on.
Well, you never know. He has a cane. He might hurt someone, man.
He has a walking stick.
Yeah, he might hurt someone. It's really dangerous.
He
It
could,
kills
but he
more.
hasn't.
Yeah, it kills more than guns. You know that?
That's true. We need an amendment getting rid of walking canes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I have seen like it's crazy. And then also you saw what I know that pissed you off. The flags being taken down in New York City
Yeah.
and being replaced by Palestinian flags, who by the way are just these peaceful people that are victims. They're being displaced and they have nowhere to go, and they're so poor that they don't understand why no other countries want them. Why don't the Egyptians let us live there for a while, even though we lived there for a long, long time?
Yo,
Why
where the
don't
hell
the
did they
Jordanians
get
live?
all the Palestinian flag?
Yeah, and then they're like, this isn't planned.
Yeah, right. It's like, how many flags were there? Like, I saw a lot of people holding around with Palestinian flags. But no, yeah, it really pisses me off. You want to go ahead and take out the American flag, the same country that you're living at right now, and you got the audacity to rip it off.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right,
And
in your
remember,
own
they're
country.
not saying America, please negotiate peace in Israel. Don't they're not saying that. They think they're saying that, but they're not. The message
No.
everyone gets is the Palestinians are victims and they need to fight back against the Israelis and they want to end the Israelis. When they say things like from the river to the sea, that doesn't mean ceasefire. That doesn't mean
Nope.
peace deal. That
Nope.
means final solution.
Yep.
Exactly. That means final solution. It's so stupid.
Yeah, they want to pull a Aaron Yeager.
They want to pull an Aaron Yeager. They want to bring out the Arab Titan.
You see a Titan wearing a hijab.
When they transform, they yell Allahu Akbar.
They're wearing the white the white cloth and the hat.
Oh my god! It has a suicide vest. It has a bomber vest that's
Oh
permanently
my
attached to
god.
it.
That's why you have the colossal Titan.
That's the colossal titan. That's the Arab Titan. That's hilarious. And here's another one
Attack on
where
Titan
apparently
reference.
this is another video that you sent me where apparently they're leading people into the building, and lots of people are saying, hey, this looks like not only this wasn't an interaction, but this was kind of like a setup. They let them in to set them up.
Normally you would hear someone question why did they come in the first place?
Exactly. Like, how did they get in? Like, why are you leading them into the building? Why aren't you
Like
leading them out of it?
even if they are leading you guys, why are you guys going in? I mean, well, yeah,
That also, that's
it's
also a good
appropriate.
point.
It's appropriate question.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good
you're
point actually. Yeah, like why did you go in? But
You
that's
also want to
putting it on
question
the
why you also want to question why the police aren't doing the job.
exactly like why are they letting you in? Not only like not doing their job because they could have just walked away. They're letting you in. They're high fiving you. They're laughing with you. They're doing buddy buddy with you. Kumbaya, and they're like letting you in and guiding you through the plates. It's like, yeah, come in. We're gonna guide you through. It's like, what? Here's a video
Yeah.
of that. There's no sound, by the way.
What the hell?
Tell me that's not a tour guide. He's holding the sign for some reason. I don't understand why.
So the message can be out there. What the hell? Wow, look at them beating up the cops.
Yeah, look at all this violence.
God,
So
no,
dangerous.
so
You know
much
what?
blood.
I felt so exactly. I felt so bad for the members of Congress. Like, hey, you know what AOC was doing at this moment? She was hiding underneath
I, I just, I
her
just,
desk.
I just had her in my mind. I'm like, yo, she's
She
gonna
was
be out
hiding.
there just screaming. Yeah.
She was crying because she had never heard so much violence, so much vitriol, so much like destruction take place in that day. This
Oh
was
my God,
happening, and she felt
poor
so
thing. She
horrible.
was so traumatized.
Just the flash from all those cameras, they felt like missiles being shot at her from
Oh my
right
God,
wing fascists.
wearing a camo mask. Oh my God,
Yeah,
camo
seeing the
bandana.
American flag on those poles were like stabs to the heart, and she
Oh,
couldn't take
so
it.
racist. Yeah.
It was so racist. Like she had never seen so many white people in the same day. Wait, is
Oh
that a
my
Chinese
God.
dude?
Wait, that's a black dude.
Was that a Chinese guy?
No, go back to the
Hey,
black,
there's
the
another
black
right here.
Jack.
He right there. No, there's three of them.
No, go back.
Oh,
Look
they're
like
right here. Right there. Oh, that's a white guy.
look
What
like
the fuck?
Josh.
Yo,
Go back.
hey, yo, that looks like a Chinese guy.
That's all.
That guy looked like a Chinese dude. Oh, that's a black. Yo, yo, that looks like Josh.
Right there,
Yo,
right
that was
there, right
Josh.
there. That look like
Right
him.
here. You see him? I mean, yo, that
That
was
is
him.
look like him or his brother.
Nah, it looks like him, bro. That's Josh right there. Look at that. He just looks back. Yo, that looks like a tall. That's tall.
Oh no,
That's
no, no!
Josh's.
Pause right there. I gotta take a picture of this. No way.
Yo,
Yo.
Josh was at the January 6th. We're not looking at it. I mean, it's kind of sus because he's not wearing those pink Crocs, but that's him,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just send it to you for now.
bro.
Save that, save that. Oh my God, he's low key a Trumpy.
How did he not tell us he was there? He should have told us he was there.
Right?
I thought he was an Asian guy for a second.
And maybe he was trying to hide it from his girlfriend. He don't want her to know. He don't want her to know. Maybe that's
That's
why.
crazy though. But yeah, here he comes. Josh comes. He passes those dudes. He's like, oh, all right, okay, they're coming through.
And he's
And
like, "Yo,
then
what's good, my
here
N-word?"
goes Josh. He's like, yo, where are my N-words at? And that's Brittany right there following him. And then here's this bald black dude. That's Justin Pickney right there.
Like, you look like you about to go steal something.
They did. They stole those flags.
Didn't they
And
also
then that's
stole?
it. And
Didn't they
then
also took Nancy Pelosi's laptop?
someone shit in her desk.
No. I kind of want to check it out.
Yeah, look that someone shit in her desk, and that's why she was mad. Yeah, but again, that just goes back to show like this is another again, we're doing this again for this is the second time they've been released, and now they're all released, and people are gonna say, wait a second, we had a committee that spent how many millions of dollars investigating this? We have heard people being pretty much arrested on the porches of their houses without even knowing it. FBI showing up at their doors, U.S. Marshals out for their arrest. People just because they were in the city that week are being brought in and being arrested. That we've seen that happen.
Yeah. Well, now you want to question because obviously we can tell like in our next presidential debate, if we're gonna have a debate,
Exactly.
they're gonna obviously bring up January 6th and how awful it was and how tr it was Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Do you think now that this is gonna work, and do you think this is gonna favor them since now all these videos are being released?
Well, I think you just brought up the best point. If there is a debate, and I don't think there is a debate. I don't think they're going to have a
Yeah,
debate because
exactly.
I've
Yeah,
been hearing hints that they don't want to do one.
but if it's there a debate, do you think this will favor their agenda
The
or
Democrats.
whatever you call it? Yeah, Democrats.
That's a good question. I think the media has already started, and the media this week has been using this to say, look at the right wing, they're all conspiracy theorists. They're trying to downplay a very, very big, dangerous day. You know, the worst day in our attack since Pearl Harbor and 9/11. People said that.
9/11.
People said that. People have said that in the media. They have called this the worst attack in America since 9/11. I don't know what they're, and then people are going to say, I have seen videos of this on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't see it. I haven't seen it. What I'm seeing is people walking through, crazy white people are walking through the Congress, through the congressional building. In many cases, being guided by the police, who the Democrats are not going to say they were fearful for their lives, and in a moment of fear and panic, they did a brave thing by giving them a tour guide. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like they were being given a tour guide.
Yeah,
They're being given a tour
a
of the
very a
Capitol
very
building.
dangerous tour guide.
A very dangerous tour. A very violent tour. It was mostly peaceful. A mostly peaceful tour. And
Fucking
I
love that.
just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see how people are. I mean, I agree with you. Like, will it help them? I think the media is going to do their bidding, and they already started doing their bidding.
Yeah, I think they will try their best, but
But
I don't. Yeah, I don't think it'll work. You know, yeah, I don't think it'll favor them as much. As you said, the media will try
as
and
before,
do its bidding. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I think people are going to ask questions. They're going to ask questions like, "Hey, we just had a committee. Like, you guys, we spent 2 years on this January 6th committee. Liz Cheney and the dude's crying, and that black police officer saying that he was beaten up, even though there's videos of him just walking around, running around for no damn reason. And then also questions like, okay, Ray Epps was like, who is this motherfucker? Like, where the fuck was he? And who is he in all of this? Because we still haven't heard.
It's not his first time doing this.
No, it's not. No, no, it's not. And then there are way more questions than answers at this point. But there are more answers now because we have videos of what's happening. People are, and there are gonna be more questions because people are gonna say, okay, did we just waste 2.5 years on a lie, on another hoax, on a very good hoax, by the way, very well played hoax? The
Hmm.
right fell into their hands that day and did something they shouldn't have done, and it's just get in. I mean, I think you are right in saying they shouldn't have gone in, but also it's like, did them walking through like a guided tour, did that justify everything that's happened? No, it didn't. Did it justify on the week of on the month in the weeks after the inauguration? Did it justify National Guard soldiers sleeping in parking lots? No, it didn't, because that's what the Biden
Right,
administration did.
right, right.
Did it justify them walling off the entire Capitol, the entire National Mall, making it seem as if they were these like protected, victimized royal family that shouldn't be touched or looked at because they're above the people? No, it didn't, because they're not above the people. Like Milei says, that they're scum, they're vermin, they're trash. They are the worst. Uh, they are the worst things humanity has produced ever. That's who the members of Congress are, and the Democrats in Washington are. That's what they are. They are human garbage. Did this justify all of the things they did? No, it didn't, because this video doesn't show anything they wanted to show. They tried to make it seem like January 6th was a terrorist attack, that fascist Nazi sympathizers attacked the country, broke windows, beat up police officers. They said that they killed police officers.
I don't even know who to kill.
And exactly. And well, that Brian Sicknick, who we now found out died of a heart attack days later.
I think I heard about that one.
Exactly. So, and then the black collar police officer that testified said that
Yeah,
he was
because he
beaten
was
up and
he
bloodied.
was he was fine in one of those videos. He was
He
he was running around.
exactly,
Yeah, he was fine.
exactly, and then, but nobody also wants to answer. I haven't seen another thing. Well, who killed Ashley Babbitt?
Yeah, nobody want to question that.
Well, what happened? And no one's. I think there's more. There's obviously tens of thousands of hours, so we will see later on. But like, no one's talking about that.
Yeah, there's more coming.
More
This
to
is
come.
the beginning. Well, we thought it was the beginning, but not all of them were released.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Yeah, this kind of makes me disappointed with like Tucker's coverage back when he had this because there's a lot more that he probably could have showed. Now the question is, did Fox prevent him from showing everything? Because remember, he was fired shortly thereafter. That
Yeah,
did they prevent him, or did he not do a good job? Both could be true.
a lot
Because
of
he's now
questions
on
that needs
Twitter.
answers.
Yeah, he's now on X, and he could do something about this, but he's not.
Yeah, he can do a lot.
He's in Spain. Being hugged by people. Yeah. So
Wait, why? I know it's a different topic, but why did he go there?
there's protests against the government.
Oh, so he's just like they're
And he
just
went and he went to
support.
interview Sebastian Abascal, who is the leader of the Vox party, which is the far right party, like the MAGA party, I guess you would call them, in Spain. And he went to interview them. He went to interview him, and he did. And I think that's interviews out. So I guess go check it out, guys. He's also like a Malay character, but he's more new than he is than Milei. Milei's old, has been around for a while. This guy's new and very underwhelming. He had a debate which I saw against back when there was the parliamentary elections,
Mm.
and he was very underwhelming. I mean, he got eaten up by this, not even the woman from the Socialist Party. This lady from like the Green Party ate him up on abortion, just destroyed him. And I was like, yeah, this was a complete shit show. And then I see this protest, and it kind of pisses me off. It's like, bro, you guys lost an election. You guys should have won. Should have won. The socialists should not be in power in Spain right now. All these years saying that we're going to take him back, take it back, and then you lose seats in this election. Oh, in, a huge disappointment. And then I see these protests. It's like, all right, man. All right, enough. Do a better job.
Do you think it's also happening with America as well? You know how
I'm
Republicans
hoping.
they'll say like, oh, we're gonna get the seat back. We're doing such a good job.
Well, that's
Next
what
thing you
happened in
know,
2022. Remember, red wave,
yeah,
and then it was like a red sparkle, and then DeSantis came out of nowhere to ruin everything with his in Florida.
yeah, exactly.
And he's now being sued by the ACLU because apparently, he discouraged the rights of Palestinians by not letting them protest,
Oh man,
which is another way of how Republicans shit things up. It's like, why are you banning the rights of people to protest? They can
yeah,
protest. They just
yeah,
can't protest. When people see them protesting the way they do, they realize the big picture. They see it. They need to see it. It's like
what
Douglas Murray had
what
once
was
said
main
thing.
what's his main point? Not supporting terrorism. That's why he
Yeah, because
decided to do
he
that.
says that the pro-Palestinian people are pro-Hamas. It's like, yeah, they are, but you got to let people see that. No one believes you, Ron. Just because you say in Florida, nobody cares. And wear boots, nobody cares.
Yeah,
No, like Douglas Murray back in England said, what you want to do is let these people talk, let them say what they want, and people will realize how crazy they are.
yeah,
Let them say these stupid genocidal chants like "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." People will say, "Oh yeah, that's crazy, that's insane. Why are you defending Hamas?"
yeah. Louis, stop doing that.
Yeah, I hate when I do that, man.
I hate myself.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on. So I had another, but
Yo,
here we
go back
go.
to his wife. Go back to his wife. What are you doing? No, not that wife.
Oh,
Javier's.
you want to get back to Josh? Oh no,
No, not Josh. Javier's wife.
Mr. President, after today, would you
that one.
Well, Mr. President, it's good to see you again. Well,
Does it
Mr.
look like that's
President,
Javier's wife?
Oh no, you meant here.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough for you. All right, let's move on to this topic real quick. I just wanted to say before we get on, did you see Greg Abbott endorse Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one for the books. Yeah, the governor of Iowa last week went on a rant, a anti-Trump rant with Ron DeSantis standing by with his elevated boots, just looking at her, and I'm sure he wanted to butt in at some moment and say in Florida, but he couldn't.
In Florida.
In Florida, we don't have Israel in Hamas.
I think I make it a bit more deeper. You're like the way you're imitating him is a bit squeakier.
In Florida. No, he talks like that. He, he pretends he got a squeaky voice. He pretends he doesn't, but he do. He got
Stop
the
it.
he got the
Making fun
squeakeroni.
of my shoes. Squeakeroni.
He got that squeakeroni voice.
I just hope that President Xi washed his hands after, because Biden's known for coughing on his hands.
He's also known for shitting while he's like angry, so hopefully that didn't happen too.
What?
You didn't hear that? Alex Jones said that there's like he has a source that says that when Biden gets angry, he shits his pants.
Oh, no wonder why Queen Elizabeth smelled that little, tart from him.
Yeah, she can smell that little, that.
So his visit is really interesting. At San Francisco. I didn't really expect that.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's no more homelessness in San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that curious? I mean, they say they can't do anything about it, but then when this dude shows up, they do something about it.
Communism.
Yeah,
Communism at its finest. They'll
yeah.
do
I
anything
tweeted,
for
never
communism.
let Democrats tell you they can't fix homelessness. They just did.
Yeah, exactly.
Never let
Just
them
did
tell you
it.
they can't
Well,
fix
I'm actually
homelessness.
curious on how they did it though.
Oh, they did it. They did it the way they tell Republicans we can't do it by kicking everybody out of the thing.
So they just went up to him and be like, "You guys are out."
Now, remember what they also did in Los Angeles the last time there was a person visiting. What did they do? They literally flooded the under a bridge. They flooded a bridge. Look that one
Huh?
up. They flooded the underneath of a bridge, and and there were homeless people under there. That's what the Democrats in California did. Not Republicans. Democrats in California flooded the underneath of a bridge, an under bridge, and drowned a bunch of homeless people.
What?
That's what they did. Look it up. Hey, that was it. Nobody's talking about it, but that's what they did. They did that a couple months ago. They did it a couple months ago. I think it's like when the G7 came in. I think there was like an event in Los Angeles. I think.
Excuse me. I mean, how long ago was this?
A couple months ago.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. Um,
And then also there was this like huge fire underneath the bridge in Los Angeles, and like it's like completely, it's like a huge mess.
Flooded River was out homeless in California.
Oh, so this happened last year. So last
This,
year, there was like remember there was like all these like heavy rain in California,
uh-huh.
and there was like a bunch of so much rain that like the reservoirs in California were like full again because of all the rainfall.
Right, right.
Well, they let the because California works the way it does, and they're stupid and they don't realize that they could have kept all the water. What they did is that the excess water they had, they didn't actually keep it. They flooded it back into the ocean. So how do you take water from excess water from reservoirs back into the ocean? How do you do that? You open dams and you let it flow through rivers. Instead of admitting that, the New York Times, the NBC has an article saying one person dead, four missing, five other people rescued after heavy rain hit a homeless encampment under a bridge in Southern California. So they don't even say under a bridge; they just say a homeless encampment in Southern California. Where was the homeless encampment? It was under a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Officials believe all the people were living in a homeless encampment near an area that feeds into a basin, which means, by the way, and I saw it was under a bridge. They were living under a bridge, and they were under. Why is there a bridge here? Because there's a body of water. They flooded. The riverbed got flooded by the government, who let all the water out. And what happened? They didn't. They knew there was homeless people there because they know. They didn't give a shit, and they just let it in. They just let all the water through. And what happened? A bunch of homeless people died. And they're just saying that it was only one in five. We don't know that because why would they care?
Wow.
Yeah. And there we go.
Yeah, that's how you know these politicians don't care about us.
They're trying to say that it happened. It was an accident. They did that.
Accident
They
how?
did that. And so how did they do this? They just grabbed everybody and all their shit and took them on buses and sent them elsewhere. That's probably what they did. They just bust them somewhere else.
They
They
did a
tried
good
to just
job
bust
cleaning
them
it.
to some other town and dropped them off and said, "Here you go. You're homeless. You hasn't changed. Just build another tent."
Deal
So
with
they
it.
probably sent them to Portland.
Deal with the guys do in America.
Exactly. What I also don't like is the fact that there was no American flags to be seen when they were together. It was all Chinese flags. I
It
mean,
was all Chinese
it,
flags.
it pisses me off to see Marines holding the flag of a communist China.
Yeah, I saw that.
That pisses me off. But Biden, because Xi Jinping said he's going to give back panda bears, he's like, we have a bromance. And this is an article from the National Review. The Xi Biden bromance that isn't. It doesn't exist. He acts like there is one. Biden likes to act like we're best friends. It's like, no, we're not. You're not best friends. This guy doesn't respect you.
Yeah, President Xi don't. Yeah, he's not that dumb.
He's not. He's not. He's not. He doesn't have dementia and shit in his pants. I hope not.
Probably does.
So this is what they said. I firmly believe in the promising future of the bilateral relationship, Xi Jinping, seated with his delegation, told President Biden, seated across a long table with his delegation at one of their encounters on Wednesday. And then Biden said, Jimmy, uh, to host you in the United States is um
Great horny.
it's a great honor and a pussy, Biden said, as both leaders spoke of their desire to avoid conflict. In the run-up to the summit, China's Xinhua news agency published a glowing piece on Xi's initial impressions of America from his 1985 trip to the same city and subsequent friendships he formed with Americans. The enduring strength of such an amicable bond has always served as a wellspring of vitality for bilateral ties, both in favorable and in challenging times, the report gushed. If there was any if there was any doubt the US sought to reciprocate these good feelings, look no further. Then why didn't they do this before the cleanup of San Francisco streets for evidence as the assiduous care of dedicated as to our role as host?
Gavin Newsom didn't even deny it.
Oh no, yeah, he admitted he was like, yeah, it's cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got rid of all of it, and he was proud of it too. I mean, it's interesting. Why is he meeting? Isn't it kind of odd that Gavin Newsom is meeting him before the president of the United States?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like Ron DeSantis meeting up in Israel. But it's like,
Exactly. It's like
why did he went there?
we invite, yeah, exactly. It's like Trump is going to say in 2025 he's going to have a peace. He's going to negotiate a peace deal with Putin, and then Ron DeSantis goes like the day after to go do this before he meets. Like, why? There's only two things: either Gavin Newsom doesn't give a shit, and Xi Jinping doesn't, or this is planned. And this is what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you an analogy. You know the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, right? MBS.
Yeah.
Who runs things in Saudi Arabia? King Abdullah or King? Not King Abdullah. King Saud. I think his name is King Saud, or MBS.
Uh,
Salman. Salman is the king.
the king. No. Yeah, the king.
Who do you think runs things in Saudi Arabia? The king or MBS? Who runs the government?
I'll say MBS.
MBS. MBS runs the government. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows he runs the government. Who's always talking shit and doing deals with Israel? Who always talks about the Abraham Accords with Israel, or meets or Biden and negotiates and talks about oil prices and military conflicts and deals with everybody? Who doesn't? MBS does it. Say King Abdullah, who was king of Saudi Arabia when Bush and Obama were president. King Abdullah made a habit of doing things himself. You knew he was in charge because he always went to fly with and meet with them.
Hmm.
Always. There was never an instant of do they not? Um, who's in charge? There was always a question of, you know, are they
I just noticed you and Gavin Newsom got the same hairstyle.
He's copying me.
Or you're copying him.
Yeah, he wishes, bro.
And you kind of want to question what Gavin Newsom was talking about with um, Ching Chung Ling Long.
With Ching Chung Ling Long?
Yeah. Wait, weren't there like also a bunch of billionaires?
There was.
Went to the
Every
meetings too?
single CEO, every single major company from MasterCard to what's it called was there.
That's man.
This is King Abdullah of the former king of Saudi Arabia.
Oh right. Mm-hmm.
You just notice he runs the show.
Mm.
He ran his show. There's actually a Vice documentary about ISIS that I thought was incredibly interesting, where there's a clip of him when he's meeting with his privy councilors, and they do this publicly, where he was complaining and demanding that they investigate and eliminate any linkage from ISIS and Hezbollah and all these Hamas, all these groups in the Saudi military. He wants them out of his thing because Vice was giving a documentary that are the Saudis involved in all these terrorist groups, and the king apparently didn't want that to be true, and wanted his government to root out and purge out all the people who were betraying him because he didn't like that. And then he turns out, and then he's dead. And so then there's this new king Solomon, who is his brother. They're all brothers, sons of King Saud, who was king during the World War II. And the Americans helped build Saudi Arabia, which the Saudi Arabians would never admit. But it turns out the Saudi Arabians have this thing called oil that they don't actually know how to get out of the ground. The British and the Americans help them do it, create a national economy, make them richer than they've ever been, so rich that they can offer Messi and Ronaldo contracts that are worth $500 billion. Messi, of course, turned
Yeah.
it down because he didn't think Saudi Arabia was safe. Ronaldo did because he wants money and he wants to play soccer. And so did all these other people like Karim Benzema and all these other idiots. And so fast forward, we now have this situation. And obviously the alleged role of Saudi Arabia in 9/11. That's also that little thing. Um, so here you go. Fast forward, we have this situation. So why do I bring that analogy? Is it is it that Gavin Newsom is the MBS to Joe Biden?
Or maybe Joe Biden's stupid.
No, I'm trying to say is Gavin Newsom MBS in his Biden Kim Salmon. So
Yeah,
Biden
looks
is the
like yeah.
president, but Gavin Newsom is meeting Xi Jinping
Yeah.
the day before.
The
The
day
governor of
before
a state.
Biden does it, yeah.
Exactly. And what are they talking about? Why? Why would you do that? Trump would never let Ron DeSantis meet Vladimir Putin before he does. In fact, he wouldn't even mention Ron. I mean, it wouldn't be in his thoughts.
Yeah, Donald Trump would just go by himself.
Yeah, you would send an ambassador, or you would shit talk or King Jong Un on Twitter until he realizes, yeah, we should probably meet. And he'll send Mike Pompeo over there to meet and say, yeah, we're gonna lay some ground rules and we're gonna set up a meeting. But you don't send Gavin Newsom. Why is Gavin Newsom there? So my question is Gavin Newsom calling the shots? Is he the is he the guy running not the country, but I'm gonna say, does he have a major say in what's happening? I'm gonna say, yeah, I think he does. I think he's being primed, and I think he's being prepared to be the next leader of the Democratic Party. I think Gavin Newsom has won the power struggle, and he is now de facto the next Democratic leader. I
You
think
really think so?
I think if he doesn't run today, if he doesn't run in 2024, I think in 2028, Gavin Newsom will either be the nominee and he could be president of the United States.
Yeah, 2028 I can see him running for sure.
Yeah, I think he will. I think it's guaranteed, and I think he will be president of the United States.
I feel like if he would run in 2024, he would get a lot of backlash from his own liberal party.
I don't
Well,
think so. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I
The
think
only
they,
reason
I think
reason
they
why
would
I
want
say
that.
that because a lot of people will complain that how come Kamala didn't get a chance?
That's I
Why?
think that's the only reason he isn't the nominee yet.
Yeah, right,
I
exactly.
think that's a good point. I think that's the only reason he isn't the nominee is because Kamala's in the way, and she's probably going to have the Black Caucus, who, by the way, the Democrats don't give a shit about. She's going to have the Black Caucus behind her, and maybe Barack Obama. I don't. I think there's two. I think the Clintons are going to have a say. I think the Bidens are hanging on for their lives because I think they still want to be there, and I think the Obamas, the Clintons, and all these other groups are fighting off and saying who is going to be the guy. I don't think Obama. I don't know what the Obamas are saying. I don't think they want Kamala. Because remember, they didn't want Biden in the first place. They had a chance to put Biden in 2016 as their guy. What did they do? They went with Hillary, who they didn't like. And then remember what happened in 2020. What did Obama say? Joe, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. And then what did he also say in his book? Joe Biden had a propensity to fuck things up. He
Yeah,
said those two things. He said, Joe, you don't have to do this. You don't have to run. And then he also said before that, Joe fucks stuff up. He has the propensity and the special talent to fuck shit up. And what he did both. He literally did both. Thank Obama.
thank you, Obama.
Thank you. You're welcome, son.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah,
You're welcome.
you're welcome, my gay son.
You're welcome. Don't tell Big Mike.
But when you think about it, it is also scary when you got a bunch of billionaires who came to the meeting as well, and you kind of want to question what were they talking about. Is it like some sort of like economic plan for
So I
California,
read an
or
article that said apparently they were
maybe a
talking.
Chinese takeover in California?
Well, that already happened, but they were talking about. They apparently I read an article. They were talking about. You've heard we've talked about the emergence of India. We've talked about the emergence of this term called leaving China before things get fucked up.
Okay,
What is it called? Decoupling from China.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Apparently, they were talking to Xi and his team about that. They were talking about what reassurances can we get, can our companies get, and can we get as CEOs about what's going on in China. What are you planning? What's going on? And apparently that didn't go so well. Apparently they weren't really given any reassurances by the Chinese.
That's how weak they are.
So apparently it seems like shit could hit the fan if we keep this weak leader. Now I'm very interested to see because the Putin Trump relationship was kind of straightforward. There was a respect level, and I don't think Putin had this ambition that the Chinese did. The Russians aren't going to Africa and giving $100 billion. They're not doing that. They're not interested in that. I want to know what Trump is going to do. Why I want to see what the Trump Xi relationship is because remember they left the Trump Xi relationship after 2020, after he let in the 2020s was fractured. It was fractured in 2019 because we were in a trade war, and we didn't leave the trade war. We were still in it, and Biden, surprisingly, to his credit, has kept many of the tariffs in place yet.
Wow.
So we don't have the deal that Trump was looking for, that Trump almost got in terms of the comprehensive trade deal that Trump almost got because of the COVID and because of what they did to him, stealing the election, all that bullshit.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that, man.
I just did. And so they stole the election and they did all the COVID bullshit, and we could have had a remember. So that relationship was fractured. I think Trump in his mind is probably saying it's right where I want it to be. We're negotiating tough. I think they respect each other because I think the Chinese said, "Oh, holy shit, this guy wasn't talking shit. He just said everything we do. We devalue our currency. We put tariffs on all your products, even though we don't pay any on ours when we import to you, export to your country. And then we have horrible human rights. We are ambitious. We are like kind of the hawkish wing. Xi Jinping is the hawkish wing, by the way.
Mhm.
And he called them out on all their bullshit, like the copyright stealing, the infringements, like what they're trying to do to the currency, dollar. He called them all out. I think the Chinese were like, "Holy shit, this is the first dude who ever did this," and he's actually right, and he's
Yeah, they're
actually
probably
like
like
calling us out on it.
they're probably like, yeah, he is different.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not your
exactly
typical
that's my point.
he's not your typical American president now these
No,
days.
no, that's my point. He's like they saw that and they said, "Okay, we kind of have to play the game now." And I think that I think it's a shame. It's a shame that it ended because I think Trump and him were playing such a good game of negotiating. I don't know how it would have ended, but I think Trump in his mind is saying, I had him where I want him. I had them where I wanted them. And he didn't have enough time. That's why I hate when people say he didn't do enough. It's like I think people miss the boat. I don't think Trump he does care, but I think Trump sees the big picture, and I think he says there are bigger things I got to do instead of focusing on the abortion problem. Like I gave you guys the judges; they did their thing. I didn't have to
Yeah,
do that. They did their thing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
gave you all the judges. In fact, I didn't do it. I didn't force the issue. No one told Justice Ginsburg to die. No one told Scalia to die. Like that wasn't a thing. He did that because it came up, and he put the right judge in place.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And I think he's
yeah.
focused on. I think I said this to you before. I believe that Trump sees himself as above the culture war. I think he views the culture war as a in the trenches thing, and he views himself as a commanding officer leading troops, but developing a overall plan that's going to work. That's why I think he viewed himself as negotiating with the Chinese, negotiating with Putin, negotiating with the European Union in terms of trade, the NATO military aid, all of that. I don't think he viewed himself as I'm going to be and you might disagree because you say, oh, but he was feisty. Yeah, he was feisty when he had to be. He was feisty when he had to be, but he wasn't picking fights. People
Hmm.
picked fights with him, and he replied. And the media made it seem like he was picking the fight.
Yeah, right.
Remember, who wasn't paying their fair share to NATO, the European countries? They started this. Trump would have never said anything if they weren't. Who had the problem with the immigration, with the wall? Mexico was the one pushing immigration into us because they're the final frontier. Trump went to them and said, "You guys are a problem. You guys have to do this." Like he fixed that problem. He's not going to go down to Disney World and fight Bob Iger. He's not going to because he sees that as unpragmatic. But Ron DeSantis, because in Florida, he like that's the difference. And when people say, "Oh, he didn't, he could have done it," he did a lot. And his strengths were always economic and foreign policy because those were the most challenging issues of the day. This man stopped a nuclear war from unfolding with North Korea. Back in 2015, 2016, when we were in high school and we heard the news, every other day there was nuclear tests being conducted by the North Koreans. They were shooting missiles into the Japanese, the Sea of Japan,
So Japan and then South Korea.
Over Japan.
Yeah.
And Trump stopped that. And and you guys are mad because he didn't ban the gays? I mean, and the trans? Like, are you fucking retarded?
Yeah.
Like honestly, like people don't like. I look back and I remember because I lived through it day to day, living through it in college and listening to people complain and cry. And I watched the news every day and I read the articles every day. Work was done, and this relationship here. Do you really think Trump would have gone out of a meeting of a meeting like this and just gotten pandas? G's gonna give us pandas. Do you think Trump would have ever let somebody come at him and let them and do this to him?
Mr. President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you
That's
used
kind of what question him. Sorry.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that
earlier this year.
well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that is based on a form of government totally different than ours.
Now, Biden, of course, gave the worst answer to that question. I think, no, when I say he's a dictator, yes and no. Why does Blinken not want him to say that? Because they're negotiating and they're trying to be buddies, and he thinks that calling out Xi as what he is, as he's militarizing the the Southeast China Sea, as he's being hawkish to Taiwan and sending ships over the Taiwanese airspace, acting as if it's his, as they're redrawing maps of China and including borders which aren't actually theirs, which are under current disputes with a bunch of other countries, including India. He's making those borders Chinese all of a sudden, taking land that isn't his.
Yeah.
I think Trump, remember what he did. He never went out and called them dictators if he felt he didn't have to. Remember what was the problem? Remember when he met with Putin, what they said? Oh, why isn't he confronting him on the classified on the what's that called? The interference,
The Russian
the election
interference.
interference. Yeah, why isn't
Election.
he? Because he said that doesn't. I don't. In his mind, I'm assuming Trump says because I don't give a shit. First of all, it's not because he's like I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want. No, no, it's not that. It's because he's saying I'm in the midst of negotiating peace, friendly terms with this guy. Why would I insult him if I want to be friendly with him? He never called you a dictator. He
That
did go
sounds,
out
that
and
sounds like
say,
something. That sounds like something Ron would do.
"Oh yeah,
He
Ron's gonna come out and
he
say,
would talk so much shit on Twitter, and then when they go into a meeting, that's when he's like friendly, shaking hands with his snotty hands, and you know.
yeah," and he's gonna laugh and it's gonna be awkward
Mr. President, after today, would you
and then here's the next video of just him just paying
Well,
attention.
Mr. President, it's good to see you.
And just notice that Lincoln is literally looking at Biden and trying to say he's hoping, I think he's praying for this moment, for the
He's
first
hoping
time ever,
doesn't
he
screw it
for
up.
the first time ever he believes in God now. And he's like, God, please let this old man not ruin this. And unfortunately for both of them, he does.
Well, Mr. President, it's good to see you again. We've spent many hours together over the last 10 or 12 years, and to host you in the United States is a great honor and a pleasure, particularly as it relates to our summit today and for the APEC leaders meeting this week. Look, this time of year, about a year and a day ago, we met in Bali on the sidelines of the G20. Since then, key members of our teams have had important discussions on issues matters to both our nations and to the world. But as always, there is no substitute to face-to-face discussions. I've always found our discussions straightforward and frank, and I've always appreciated them. Mr. President, we know each other for a long time. We haven't always agreed, which was not a surprise to anyone. But our meetings have always been candid, straightforward, and useful.
Was he reading off of a
Mr.
note?
President,
Huh? What?
Is he reading off of a note?
Yeah, he's reading off of a paper.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, that's what he's come to
In
this day,
front of another president.
in front of another president. And I mean, no, it's I mean, it's common. I mean, I guess yeah, I'm gonna assume it's common.
How common.
Well, not that common, but
Exactly.
no, I mean, sometimes you would read. I mean, sometimes I guess you have like a little prepared speech that you're gonna have. I mean, when you're at a press conference, obviously you make some address, but typically, yeah, most presidents don't really do that. He has to because remember, he can't speak for himself. But I'm gonna play some videos just to compare to you what Trump did with Putin and like when Trump and Putin would meet and
I'm trying to burp. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not common for someone who is a sitting president to read off of notes in front of another president. But we gotta do it for a dumbass like him.
oh yeah, he's just old and demented, so of course.
Old and demented. How
Yeah.
old is he now? 79?
It's like
80?
Biden. I mean, yeah, let's see what his age is. Biden is, I mean, how old?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is
Joe
81 years old. He turns 82 in November. Tomorrow he turns 82.
Oh my god, his birthday right next to me?
Yeah, oh my God, you guys were born at the same time.
Yo, I might have dementia too. Holy shit.
You're gonna have dementia.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys are gonna have dementia.
there goes my luck.
Yeah, you guys are
Wow.
definitely gonna have dementia. And it's gonna be
November 20th, 1942. Damn. Dude's gonna be 120 years old. Was born November 20th, 1942 at St. Mary's Hospital in Scranton, Pennsylvania. To Catherine Eugenia Biden. Nee Finnegan. What?
Yeah.
what?
And Joseph Robinette Biden Sr.
Joseph Robinette Sr. Look at that name. Bruh, that name.
The oldest family in a Catholic family.
Yeah, that's just like, bruh.
Has a sister Valerie and 2 brothers. Oh, Valerie, you mean his AKA wife? The one that he switched off. Remember that video where his sister was next to him and his wife was next to him? But he called Jill the sister and then Valerie the wife.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm married to my sister, and
No, they switched on me. They switched on me.
this is like, I don't know if you know that. Are you sure you know that?
Nah, he knows.
Yeah, I
He
feel
knows
like
very well.
yeah, I think they were just, you know, he
What are you
liked it.
looking for?
He liked it. I'm just looking for Trump and Putin meeting.
Trump and Putin meeting.
Trump and Putin.
His handshake with Putin is a classic.
Yeah, I was looking for that one because it should be somewhere.
You just gotta let them know that Trump is the dominant masculine guy. And we don't need someone that shakes hands like a little
Ever
girl.
wondered why Putin?
Nope. I never wonder. Never ever wonder.
I don't know why Putin.
I don't know why either. That's all I hear in the background.
Yeah, that's all you hear. That's
I
all
wonder.
that was.
Do you ever wonder? No.
I don't know. No, I don't. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can see these videos now. Actually,
This is the moment.
This is the very moment.
This is the moment, and there is like a lot of time here, and yeah, there is like the very like yes. Yeah, but it's like kind of pisses me off to see like just like this country pretty much.
We need Trump back, man.
We do need Trump back, and
I need Danny Trump back. We need to start making money again.
Well,
make money great again.
yeah, we gotta make America great again.
Oh, Gavin Newsom was probably talking about the climate change too. Climate mission to China.
Oh, you niggas!
What?
Yeah, that was
What the hell was that?
that's
That's not Trump.
well, it was behind the scenes. But
Maybe that's Putin.
here's this little thing here. Yeah, well,
I'm actually curious, how good was Putin's English?
You know, it's sort of funny. So Putin, out of nowhere, I never met Putin, but we were on 60 Minutes together. Not together, but together, meaning I had a segment, he had a segment. We got tremendous ratings on that show. I took full credit. I said if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have. But we didn't meet. But we were stable mates in a sense, right? It was he and I on 60 Minutes like 5-6 weeks ago. And it was great. And he came out of nowhere 2 days ago, and he said, Trump is brilliant. He's great. He's the leader. He's the leader of the parties. And he said nice things. I didn't know. I never met him, so I didn't know. And he said nice things. All of a sudden, I'm hearing things like, oh, isn't it terrible that Putin is saying that? That's not terrible. That's good. That's like a good thing, not a bad thing. He can't stand Obama. Obama can't stand him. They're always fighting. Wouldn't it be nice if we could get along like with people?
Do you agree?
Do you agree?
Why are you wearing a mask, dude?
Well, because he might be caught for January 6th, even though he wasn't there.
Oh, he might be a Fed.
He could be a Fed. Well, that's also true. Yeah, well, and that's kind of true. It's like they kind of did respect each other, but you kind of see it. It's like they there was a respect there. Like they're talking. They're just they're not just joking around, but they're talking.
It's crazy how the media is like after him.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
Like,
for Putin to call him brilliant and all that. It's like, no, this is so bad.
and all he said it was like, yeah, well, isn't it great if there was like just peace?
Well, y'all are mad that he didn't say that to Obama or any of them. That's all he wants, world peace.
Exactly. That's all he wants is world peace. He doesn't want like, oh, I'm a Russian. I want Russia to. No, it's. And then obviously, they would do like the.
No what?
Like when they would meet at places and they would just be like, I'll show you this video here. When they would meet, like when they met in Osaka and they were shaking hands, and they're like, "You need to ask him if he meddled in the election." And
Wait, how good is Putin's English? Does he know a little bit?
I don't know. I think he knows some English. He's never really spoken it in public.
Yeah, cause I saw him trying to speak with Trump without a translator.
Yeah, there's like, so I think he apparently he knows English. That's what probably that's the rumors he does. He knows English, French, and German, including Russian. Remember he was a KGB operative, so they train you, and he was stationed in East Germany. So, that's kind of the rumor. He was stationed in East Germany when he was a KGB spy.
He should know
Here's the thing.
some English.
Here's that interview I was talking about. Them in the handshake.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, get over here, little boy.
Not a fan of the pink tie, but. Right.
He's barely looking at their eyes. Looks up to family.
You don't have a problem with Russia. We have. You don't have. You might have. You still have. Hello. You don't have a problem.
Heard that?
Yeah.
Russia. We have. You don't. You might have. You still have. Hello, everybody.
That's so weird. He knows a little bit.
He knows, well, yeah, that's like enough. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But look at that. There's no world war. There's no invasion of Ukraine.
He is sweating
There's no
though.
Taiwan.
His forehead is shining.
Yeah, they got that.
Everybody, it's a great honor to be with President Putin, his representatives, my representatives. We have many things to discuss, including trade and including some disarmament, some little protectionism, perhaps, in a very positive way. And we're going to discuss a lot of different things. We've had great meetings. We have a very, very good relationship. And we look forward to spending some very good time together. A lot of very positive things going to come out of the relationship. So, Vladimir, thank you very much. Thank you.
Всем большое спасибо. Я приветствую всех. Я приветствую также торговля, коммерция, вопросы разоружения, хороших взаимоотношениях, которые будут между нами. Я думаю, что результаты этой встречи будут отличными.
Не могу не согласиться с господином президентом. Нам есть о чем поговорить.
Well, I cannot but agree with Mr. President. We have something to discuss here.
Все темы обозначены.
All the topics have been outlined.
Мы давно не виделись со времен встречи в Хельсинки.
We haven't seen each other since Helsinki meeting.
Правда, наши сотрудники работали, дали нам хорошую возможность продолжить то, о чем мы договаривались. Так что спасибо за обеих сторон.
Thank you very much for both teams for that.
Спасибо за внимание.
Yeah, so it's like, all right.
He's not even denying it.
It's like, well,
That's that's such an awkward moment for him too.
but like he so this comment, he's like, I just love the way Putin just smells like he's on a date. I love how he casually said, "Don't mess with elections."
Yeah,
Oh,
I
this
know,
is a
right?
bot. This is a bot. These are bots.
Oh, I
Look at
see.
that. Look, they just copied each other. Like, what? These are bots right here. I am Brazilian and I don't understand why the American people replaced Trump. Oh, why the American people replaced Trump? It was a mistake. I'm definitely voting for Trump 2024. I don't understand why Brazilian voted more for Lula. I'm Canadian and I don't understand why a Brazilian would want to. I'm Canadian and I don't understand why a Brazilian would wonder why Americans would replace Trump. That's funny. He was like, I just realized Putin kind of automatically has respect for those who he feels comfortable with. Well, yeah, they don't want you calling him a fucking dictator.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Man, what a dictator.
Exactly.
Putin trying to hold back the laughter.
And then there's this moment.
That's that line right there you can't cross here, right?
Yeah, that's the line, yeah.
Good to see you again. I've never expected to meet you at this place. If your excellency take a step forward, you will be the first U.S. president to cross this line. Get out of the way. Move. Clear. All of you. Clear. No. Very good. Hey! Come on. Move. Wait till they move.
Come on, guys.
Wait till they move.
What the hell?
Yeah, they're just fighting over the camera. So apparently Tucker started a problem. He
I
also
heard about
started a
that.
fight when he was there. He went with Trump. He went with the journalists there. Apparently he started a problem. Yeah, I remember Trump mentioned it to him. He was like, "Well, you kind of made a problem for me." And he was like, "Yeah, I know." Kind of fought with like the North Korean security apparently.
Yeah, why would you guys need to hold it down, man? Especially when you go to North Korea.
Well, I mean, it's unprecedented. I mean, the Secret Service had no idea he was walking over there. Apparently, like just this was an insane event, and well, yeah. So,
Congrats to him.
yes, I guess we're gonna end things here. Let's see. Is there another one? I mean, is there another moment we can write?
This is us showing you guys that Trump is a
YouTube is the #1
Yeah,
site
we're
for
showing you guys
millions
Trump
of
is the man
creators
and the whole thing.
online.
Like,
But as
obviously,
more people
to
fled
show
to the
you, peace. Yeah, you got Winnie the Pooh over here feeling all lonely. He's like, dang, I'm the leader of China, and I'm over here, and they're not chatting with me. Yo, you were fighting all that fight?
What were they fighting about?
I don't know. I guess they went to skip in line. Those were like a journalist or something.
Bruh.
Dang, R.I.P. my boy Shinzo.
I know.
Yeah. There was that one time, remember, like they met and like he touched his arm, his shoulder. You're not supposed to touch the shoulder of
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Trying to see that thing right here.
Wait, he didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I guess like his staff were like, "What?" I think he looked back and he didn't realize what it was, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he was like, "Oh, it's him actually."
And I mean, the Trump knew about it.
ردنا على الغرب نفس الكلام هذا نعيده بالإنجليزية. Anybody that challenges the existence of this country and this kingdom, all of us, we are projects of jihad and martyrdom. That's my message.
That's hilarious to me. That can't be real.
Damn, talking all that shit for all that money.
I know. There's like blood money, pretty much. It's like,
Yeah, if you guys didn't have that money, you wouldn't be talking like that.
yeah, they would just be pussies. Like they just, because that's how they are. It's like, that's funny. It's like maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Oh, I want to see this now. Participates in traditional Saudi dance.
Yeah, that's when he first entered in
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
2017.
He's so stiff.
Yeah, she just watching like, all right.
Wait, that's MBS?
That's MBS right there, yeah.
He was like fat.
Yeah, he used to be chubby.
Wow.
That's the king, still the king.
Man, the way you're talking shit, get the hell out.
Look right here. Bro, imagine you have to wait all that time just for that old guy to walk through the thing.
Yeah.
Well, then Saudi king arrives in Moscow. We'll just
Show your daughter how much you love her
we
with
don't
this
have
beautiful gift. It says, to
fuck you. See, that's what Biden needs right there.
Yo. That's so true.
But we know he's old and he's the king, so he needs that.
But isn't that his own private plane?
That's like, well, that's the king's plane, so I guess.
Yeah, that's like his own.
Yeah, he probably cold as fuck in those roads.
No, he's fine. He's like, damn, y'all ain't cold in the 70 degrees weather?
Y'all ain't cold. Not gonna lie, man. Russians be having the having the coolest anthems and shit, man. And the
I like
coolest,
the march too.
yeah, and the coolest like marches and uniforms. The uniforms be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see Japanese.
It's okay, guys. We're not Putin lovers. Jeez.
Yeah, we're showing everything. Let's see. Donald Trump meets Emperor. Okay, let's see.
Hey, oh, they still call it Emperor?
But yeah, they had a new one. Yeah, he met the old one too. Okay, I don't really care about her, but
Yeah, you do.
I do, but not right now. Well, he speaks English, so I mean, you don't really need. But I guess the translator's there for the purpose. But he's still.
Yeah, they were getting closer.
Yeah. Like oh, did you see the new episode of what anime was that this time? There's a new episode of the Boruto coming out very soon. Did you see the last episode when Sarada she got her Sharingan? Did you see that? And he's like, no, I don't watch anime. Oh, I highly recommend you watch. Yes, it's very good. Yeah, thank you for coming and listening to me. I recommend you watch. You start with yeah, Sakura not as useless this time. We don't care about her.
He
Yeah,
has a long nose.
yeah, he got the nose like you, bro. You might be cousins.
What? His nose longer than mine.
So he might be your uncle.
Maybe.
Let's say, what the fuck, vacationing with Putin?
Bro, how many videos are there?
There's so many. Yeah, but we're kind of done here. We're kind of done here.
You know, trying to make sure we don't go over the damn timings.
That's fine. They like it. All right, we're done here. All right, guys. So again, like, subscribe. You know, I hope you guys do that already. I mean, you guys coming to the end for me to say that? Come on now.
Well, you
I know
gotta keep
love my
saying it,
voice,
man.
but keep subscribing and keep liking. Subscribe over and over again. It adds up. Just do that. Unsubscribe and then subscribe back. It adds double.
Yeah, it'll work. Trust me.
Yeah, it'll work. Trust us. Yeah. Just make sure that by the end of that process, you're still subscribed, and then you'll be like triple subscribed. So yeah, that definitely works. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and if you add to your racist, we're gonna give out like racist tickets, like Candy says, stay racist. If you keep staying racist, it doubles. So you enter there's like racist rewards, so it stays racist.
I should like do like little paper slips and then just write racism passes and just hand it
Racist
to them
past. Racist past active for November 19th.
by Indian guy. Don't worry, it works.
It works. Just hand this out. Please keep this next to your ID.
It expires by next election.
Please present this upon use of racial slur.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Use it wisely.
Yeah, use wisely. So you can only use that. So you can only use it on one person, one slur, or is it a day pass?
I'll give you guys three. No, I'll give you guys three a day.
Oh, so you can use 3 of them in the day. Okay.
3 a day, and then it expires by next election.
Oh, so they expire. So they have an expiration date, and you can use them three times in
Yeah.
that day. So you have to choose wisely when you're going to be racist to somebody.
And then after the election, I'll hand out more, but I'm gonna have to charge you guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but depending on who wins the election. So if Trump wins the election, it's unlimited racism. You can be you can that day he
Oh
wins,
hell
you
yeah.
can go
Oh
outside
hell yeah.
and scream racial slurs. So that's
Yeah,
the
let's
best
make that
part.
happen.
Yeah, you won't need the pass anymore. You can just stay racist. Hence what he says, stay racist. So you'd have to prepare now for when it happens.
Bro, we're so dumb.
That's why they're here, because they're dumb too. We're all dumb.
Oh man.
All right. So yeah, we're done. Thanks for watching, guys.
Stay with Sejol.
Yeah, and prepare. Get ready.
Yeah.